What's up, CCO Nation? Welcome back to the Commander Cookout supplemental content.
Welcome back. This is the first one.
Welcome back. Fuck. What's up, CCO Nation? Welcome to the supplemental content for Arc of Monoproblematic.
Hello.
So, in this video now, I was going to say podcast.
But it's a video.
In this video, we're going to look at some of the extra ways that you can get some advantage from playing white or blue, or the things that they don't usually do. We're going to try and fill some of the holes in the strategy and give you some very CCO includes for your mono white or mono blue lists. This video will come out just after episode 86, which is our mono blue list, where we talk about how to gain some advantage outside of just like actual card advantage.
Being a b-hole.
Yeah.
So Ryan, this is a supplemental series. It's not just us in front of the CCO set. I feel like we should probably do this episode from somewhere more exotic. Like the tundra.
Too cold.
That's a painting, Ryan. That's your yard.
Same thing. This is where we're doing it from.
Fine.
Actually, it's cold here and icy.
And
it's
snowing.
It's only November. First card?
First card.
Now, we talked about on episode 85 of Commander Cookout Podcast, our mono white episode, we talked about white gaining some card advantage from its board presence, or minimizing everybody's board presence back to nothing.
Down to 0.
Yeah, and then building up a board presence through tokens or like Sun Titan to get stuff back. And that's how white gets its card advantage, because it can't draw cards. But we are going to give you some ways to draw cards. Brando came up with these.
Check this out. I like this one lots because it's from Mercadian Mask, which obviously makes it good.
Or bad.
Good.
Sure.
Armistice. It's an enchantment. Lets you draw cards at the cost of a fairly high mana premium, and you gotta give your opponent some life. But who cares? Because you're obviously going to draw into something that's massive, and you're going to hang a whooping on them and take that life right back.
Agreed. So if you give, let's say you give the opponent 3 life each twice. You've just kind of gave them Sun Titan damage each, right?
Yeah.
And you drew 2 cards each.
You've given away 18 life and drawn 6 cards. And in white, that, it sounds like a lot, but it's not. 6 life isn't a lot. I'd pay 6 life to do lots of stuff.
Yeah, and what if one of those cards is card of the week from episode 85, Cathar's Crusade, that you can win with this giveaway, liking or commenting on this video, or subscribing to our channel.
You can smash that like button.
Oh,
I got
I
it.
was trying to avoid it.
I got it.
Moving on. You've got some cantrips. Now, cantrips are like draw cards stapled to another card, right? And usually they're reserved for blue or maybe black, and they're some kind of hand sculpting in blue, but
We don't do the kind of hand sculpting shit here, okay? So I found some cantrips, and I stapled them to removal, and I stapled them to combat tricks. That's what we want.
so what do you got?
First one, Aura Blast. Kills an enchantment, draws you a card, white 1. Pretty cool. Removal. Combat tricks. There's one called To Arms from Dissension. Those Azorius are sneaky. White 1, untap all your creatures, draw a card.
Do you think it was a Boros card?
No. Definitely wasn't, because Boros is in Ravnica.
So was Dissension.
Yeah, but Dissension is the set that Azorius was in, not the one that Boros was in.
Tell us if we're right or wrong in the comments. Get yourself entered. What's the next one?
Next one is Scout's Warning. Totally a sweet combat trick. Lets you play a creature from your hand as if it had flash. So you can flash in a blocker. And that blocker could be the last card on my cantrip list, Wall of Omens.
Ooh.
Or Stall of Omens for those who played it in the day. It's Wall of Blossoms, but it's white. It's a highly efficient creature, draws you a card. Very good. If you can recur it, especially with your Sun Titan.
Ooh, yeah. Highly efficient in terms of toughness for your mana, right? Mm-hmm. It's not going to do any damage, but if draw a card is worth 1 or 2 mana, you're getting a 0/4 blocker for free.
It's the most junk in the trunk for the mana that you've plunked down to play it.
You've plunked 4 in the butt.
Don't Google that. What do you got, Ryan?
I've got... So here's the thing. White, actually the unsung hero of reanimation or reincarnation in white.
Now, typically black is your reanimator color, but there's some kind of mad drawback. Use reanimate, you're going to lose a bunch of life. Use dance the dead, your thing stays tapped, or it's got an enchantment attached to it, and enchantments are way easier to kill than creatures in a lot of different colors, I guess, in cases.
See Aura Blast.
So there you go. So when white can kill your dude and draw a card, you're in deep shit. So what do you have that gets around that in white, Ryan?
I've got a couple pieces of unconditional reanimate in Resurrection, Defy Death, and kind of Debt of Loyalty. And you're going to pay a little bit more mana for it, but Resurrection, unconditional. Boom, you get it back. Alpha Special. I think I have an alpha one. It's badass.
I have a Time Spiral one. It's less badass.
Yes. Defy Death, if you're reanimating an angel, it gets 2 +1/+1 counters on it.
Can't complain about that.
And Debt of Loyalty doesn't reanimate, it regenerates something. So if it's gonna die, you get it. Doesn't matter whose it is.
They stopped printing regenerate because it doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense.
Moving on to blue.
Blue.
Yeah, we got some cool blue cards, and then we got some bad blue cards.
Yeah.
But they're still cool. One's from the dark.
That automatically makes it good. No, that's a lie. I'm sorry.
Nah. Start us off. What do we got?
Okay, something that blue cannot do is necessarily permanently and completely deal with the threat that's already been resolved. You can bounce it and then they have to play it again, but it's coming back. Or you can counter it outright, but that can be tricky and dicey. So,
what do you counter, right? That's why the blue player is better than you.
now fuck all that shit. Because sometimes you just want to do green stuff in blue. Green has Beast Within, and since blue's so much better than you, let's give them Beast Within at a discount in Pomify and Rapid Hybridization. Both of them kill a thing, can't be regenerated, at the cost of giving them a shitty 3/3 creature. Or you can take all of that a step further, and maybe blue wants to Path to Exile something. So you get Reality Shift. Yeah, it costs a little more, but it gets rid of their dude. Instead of giving them a resource like land or life, it gives them a crappy colorless 2/2 guy, which, I don't know, maybe could flip over into a Sun Titan and totally own your face. Or it could not.
Could be a land.
It could be a land that they then beat you to death with.
Could be an Emrakul.
No way.
No, it's definitely a land.
Definitely a land.
Definitely a land 100% of the time.
Yeah, every time it is, yeah. What do you got, Ryan?
Psychic Allergy. Enchantment from the Dark. Blue, 3. Enters the battlefield. Choose a color. Beginning of each opponent's upkeep, that opponent takes damage equal to the number of non-tokens they control of that color. Super sweet.
Super the rest of it. What's the rest of it do?
Oh, yeah. Sack 2 islands or it's destroyed. Now, if you could name a color and then magical hack, remember we talked about that on our Empress Galena episode?
We did.
This could go in Cephalid Tribal. Just throwing that out there. And you could just make them lose life equal to the number of permanents they control. Every turn. It's good. It's good. Next card, Psionic Blast. This was Time Spiral shifted. Okay, fine, whatever.
Sure.
Instant, blue, 2, deals 4 damage to something, and then 2 to me.
Sounds like a fair trade.
I think it sounds very red.
You blue playing scumbag.
Hey, sometimes you just got to deal 4 to something.
It's true. It's true. Sometimes you got to finish somebody off, and a boomerang isn't going to kill somebody when they're at 4.
Speaking of finishing them off, how about you do it with a Mind Bomb? Sorcery for blue. Each player may discard up to 3 cards. For each card that they don't discard, Mind Bomb deals damage to them. So they could take 3 damage, or 2, or 1, or discard a bunch of cards. Finisher.
Let's next level it. What the hell's dropping that? Where are those bombs coming from?
I thought it was a fish with a brain inside of it.
It is definitely an actual bomb with a brain in it.
Perhaps.
I wonder how that would work, like, on the field of Magic. You know, picture that actually happening. Like, you mind bomb after you draw some mana from an island, and, like, an airplane flies over. It's like, dun, 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 and a bunch of brains fall out of it.
Do the brains have the casing on them, or does it, like, it fall and then it mushes you?
Maybe they're just hoping that, like, that's why it does so little damage, right? You're hoping, like, oh my god, a bunch of brains are falling from the sky. You're just going to drop your shit and run away.
You got to hold your breath. And holding your breath makes you forget all the spells in your head. Okay. Next card. Suffocation. You might be thinking, hey, that sounds really awesome. Like, that probably hoses somebody or lets you, like, counter a spell. No.
Suffocation's always good.
Some people are into it.
Yeah.
Don't Google it. Don't Google it.
Nope.
Cast Suffocation only when you've been damaged by a red instant or sorcery.
Come on. Keep going.
More burn. More burn in blue. It deals 4 damage to that red instant or sorcery. Draw a card at the beginning of your next upkeep. At the next upkeep.
I hate it.
It's good.
I don't actually. No, I do. I hate it. I hate it.
So if you got a red burn-ish player, somebody who likes to do a lot of direct damage, somebody who jams Lightning Bolt in like casual commander, maybe Suffocation, you can teach him who's boss. You can deal 4 with your instant and draw a card. Yeah, blue. Okay, so that does it for our blue and white supplemental cards for the Arc of Mono Problematic. What did you think? Good, bad, stinkers, the dark? Let us know in the comments below. You can get yourself entered into our latest giveaway for this arc, which will be foil cards for all 7 cards of the week. If you want to see more on what we're talking about with Arc of Mono Problematic, you can check out our podcast proper, Commander Cookout Podcast. Links to that will be in the show notes below where Brando's pointing. CommanderCookout.com, that is, where you can see all of our stuff, including our written articles. And of course, if you want to listen to the podcast, you can find us Google Play, iTunes, any podcast scrubber, really. We've got an RSS feed out there, so you can subscribe to that on pretty much any major platform.
Yeah, big thanks to our patrons who have helped make these videos possible. We really appreciate your support. If you were interested and able to support us creating more content, higher quality content, just like this, links to that, I think, will be down in the show notes as well. Ryan does that. I'm just kind of here. Remember to like, share, subscribe. I'm not going to say what you do with the like button again because Ryan hates it, even though I really feel like I'm contributing when I say that.
What a good friend.
Remember that this current giveaway for this current arc is going to go for the next several weeks. So if chronologically you're listening to these in order, enter, like, subscribe, and by Christmas, we'll be giving that sweet package away.
That's right. Be on the lookout for the remaining Jund colors, and we've got a 10s list coming at you. We like the top 10s, and we've got one coming up in the next week or so, so be on the lookout for that. You can comment, like, subscribe to all of those things as well, and get yourself entered in for some sweet stuff. What he said.